So, millions of people suffer from migraines, right? But what if the answer wasn't just about popping a pill to manage the pain? Today, we're going to look at this really tough condition through the ancient lens of Ayurveda to uncover a holistic approach to its root causes, its treatment, and maybe most importantly, its prevention.
I mean, if you've ever actually had a migraine, you know the answer is a huge yes. It is so much more than just a headache. It's this debilitating, all-encompassing neurological event. So, what can an ancient science possibly teach us about this very modern problem? Well, let's dive in and find out. Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start by looking at the problem from two totally different angles. Then we'll dig deep into the Ayurvedic root cause. After that, we'll break down the anatomy of an attack, explore a holistic treatment plan, and finally, wrap up with some really powerful daily habits for prevention. All right, first things first, we need to frame this problem. Because how you see a migraine, is it a brain thing or a whole body thing? That changes everything about how you approach treating it. So on one hand, you've got the modern view, right? It's a neurological disorder is centered in the brain. But then you have Ayurveda, they call it Ardhavabhedaka, and they see it in a totally different light. For them, it's a symptom of a much deeper imbalance in the body's core energies, which they call the Vata and Pitta doshas. And that's a perfect lead-in to the core of the Ayurvedic perspective. You see, to even begin to talk about treatment, we've got to understand these doshas and how on earth they can combine to create so much intense pain. Okay, so first, we've got Vata. Think of it as the energy of air and movement, kind of like the wind inside your body. It's in charge of everything from your breath to the signals firing in your nerves. But when that wind turns into a chaotic storm, that's when you get constriction, stress, and that awful throbbing pain of a migraine. And then you've got Pitta. This is the energy of fire, of metabolism. When Pitta gets out of whack and flares up, it creates heat and inflammation. That's where the burning sensations come from, the sensitivity to light, that sharp, piercing pain. So really, an Ayurvedic migraine is kind of the perfect storm, isn't it? The crazy wind of Vata is just fanning the flames of Pitta. So what's knocking these energies off balance? Well, it's probably going to sound familiar. We're talking about mental stress, not sleeping right, eating a lot of spicy or sour foods, loud noises, even just too much screen time. From an Ayurvedic point of view, these aren't just random triggers, they're the actual cause of the imbalance. Okay, so we have this imbalance, but how does that actually turn into a full-blown migraine attack? Well, Ayurveda doesn't see it as something that just happens out of the blue. It's a process, a progression through 4 really distinct stages. So the whole thing unfolds in 4 phases. It kicks off with the prodrome, those little warning signs like feeling tired or suddenly craving certain foods. For some people, that's followed by the aura, which is all about those weird visual disturbances. Then, bam, the headache phase hits, and that can go on for days. And it all wraps up with the postdrome, that totally wiped out, drained feeling. You might know it as a migraine hangover. All right, so we've covered the why and the how. Now for the really important part, the solution. How does Ayurveda propose we not just manage migraines, but actually treat them? And this is absolutely key. The goal here isn't just about making the pain stop for a little while. It's a whole 3-part approach. First, you've got to rebalance those Vata and Pitta doshas. Second, you detoxify the body, get rid of all that inflammation and stress. And third, you strengthen the nervous system itself, making it way less vulnerable to triggers down the road. So they use specific herbs to target that imbalance. For instance, giloy is this amazing anti-inflammatory that helps cool down all that fiery Pitta. Then there's Brahmivati, which is a nerve tonic, perfect for calming down that chaotic, airy Vata. And Anu Tela is this really unique herbal oil. You actually use it as nasal drops. It's a direct route to relieve pressure and congestion right in your head. Now, for cases that are more chronic or severe, Ayurveda might recommend something called Panchakarma, which is basically a deep detoxification program. This involves therapies like nausea, which uses the nasal passages to cleanse the whole head region, and Shirodhara. You've probably seen pictures of this one. It's where a continuous stream of warm oil flows onto your forehead. It has this incredibly profound calming effect on your entire nervous system. And of course, diet is absolutely central to the treatment. The whole idea is to eat foods that are cooling and easy to digest, things like mung dal and vegetable soups to help pacify the system. And at the same time, you're avoiding anything that's heating or inflammatory. Think cheese, chocolate, coffee, fried foods, because that would just be adding fuel to the fire.
And that leads us to our final section, which is honestly maybe the most important one of all. Because in Ayurveda, the real ultimate medicine is how you live your life, day in and day out. Things like gentle yoga and breathing exercises or pranayama are massive for prevention. Anulom Vilam, or alternate nostril breathing, works directly to balance out your nervous system. Brahmari, the humming bee breath, has this powerful, instant calming effect on your mind. And then there's Shavasana, which lets your body just completely rest and repair. Put them together, and you're reducing stress and getting more oxygen to the brain. It's a win-win.
And a huge piece of prevention is creating a consistent daily routine, what's called dinacharya. Now, this isn't about being super rigid. It's just about giving your body a rhythm it can rely on. Waking up early, having your biggest meal around lunchtime when your digestion is at its peak, and then winding down at night without screens. All of this helps keep that Vata energy, that movement energy, calm and grounded.
Ayurveda also has a bunch of really simple home remedies you can use for gentle relief. You know, a little peppermint oil massaged on your temples can really help with that throbbing pain. A cool compress with some rose water on your forehead can soothe that pitta heat. And even a simple tea made with tulsi and ginger can help calm your whole system down. So what's the big payoff for taking this kind of holistic approach? Well, it's so much more than just pain management. The real long-term results are, yes, fewer and less intense attacks, but it's also better sleep, way more mental clarity, and just a natural, lasting sense of balance in your body.
And, that really gets to the heart of it. That's the fundamental difference. This philosophy isn't about finding a quick fix for a symptom. It's about going deep and systematically correcting the root problem, which is the only way to get real, lasting relief.
Which kind of leaves us with one last thought to chew on. In a world where we're always looking for that one magic pill to solve a complex problem, this ancient perspective offers something, well, completely different. It asks us to wonder, could it be that the most powerful remedy of all isn't in a bottle, but in the simple, steady pursuit of daily balance?